of the week, and that is the deception of Dr. Fauci. Now, instead of following the science, instead of listening to the experts, emails now reveal that Dr. Fauci was more interested in being popular among his liberal friends in the media from the very outset on everything. Masks, lockdowns, schools, projections, models. Fauci's guidance appeared to follow Democratic talking points and not science and not data. Senator Rand Paul will join us in a moment. Now, he has been confronting Dr. Fauci about these issues from the very beginning. Like he said this week, told you. Take a look.
You're defying everything we know about immunity by telling people to wear masks to have been vaccinated. No. Instead, you should be saying there is no science to say we're going to have a problem from the large number of people being vaccinated. You want to get rid of vaccine hesitancy? Tell them they can quit wearing their mask after they get the vaccine. Okay. You want people to get the vaccine? Give them a reward instead of telling them that the nanny state's going to be there for 3 more years and you got to wear a mask forever. People don't want to hear it. There's no science behind it. All I hear, Dr. Fauci, is we can't do this, we can't do that, we can't play baseball. Well, even that's not based on the science. I mean, flu season peaks in February. We don't know that COVID's going to be like the flu season. It might, but we don't know that. But we wouldn't ban school in October. You might close some schools when they get the flu. We need to not be so presumptuous that we know everything.
Fauci's unscientific, ever-evolving speculation on his daily media rounds, it has done serious damage to the country. But there's another shocking, more damning wrinkle to this story. We now know that the United States, through Dr. Fauci's NIH, sent large sums of your money to the Wuhan Institute of Virology, and they did it for years. That's the Chinese lab where COVID-19 likely originated. The lab was apparently conducting highly dangerous, what's called gain-of-function research on coronaviruses, making them more deadly and more potent. Dr. Fauci doesn't see why it's such a big deal that the NIH sent your money to this lab, telling the Financial Times, quote, "Are you really saying that we're implicated because we gave a multi-billion-dollar institute money, 120,000, by the way, it's more, a year, for bat surveillance?" The answer, Dr. Fauci, is yes, and it's more than 120,000. China is one of America's biggest, if not the biggest, geopolitical foe. They are a hostile regime. They are malicious to our allies. They fund and supply proxy operations all over the globe. They steal our intellectual property. They are the worst human rights abusers on the planet, although Joe Biden, he let his administration get lectured by the Chinese on human rights in Anchorage. On this day in 1989, people might remember Chinese tanks rolling into Tiananmen Square, opening fire on a protest, killing thousands of people. To this day, the malignant government of China detains, murders, tortures its own citizens, and they do it on a massive scale, including ongoing genocide of the northwest region of that country. So why on earth the U.S. would send 1 penny to a Chinese state lab studying the weaponization of viruses makes 0 sense. According to Dr. Fauci, the Wuhan lab's bat research, is worth the risk, even if there's a global pandemic. What?
Do you support that the money from NIH that was going to the Wuhan Institute?
Let me explain to you why that was done. The SARS-CoV-1 originated in bats in China. It would have been irresponsible of us if we did not investigate the bat viruses and the serology to see who might have been infected.
Or perhaps it would be irresponsible to send it to the Chinese government that we may not be able to trust with this knowledge and with this incredibly dangerous viruses.
Dr. Fauci needs to answer questions, and they need to be under oath. And these emails need to be examined. What did he know? When did he know it? Why was he telling us one thing privately and saying publicly and saying one thing privately? He needs to be fired. Don't expect Joe Biden to fire him for any reason, because the administration, they're now circling the wagons. Joe, Fauci's doing an amazing job. Take a look.
President, you saw cops and Dr. Fauci.
Yes, I'm very confident, Dr. Fauci. Just since you mentioned Dr. Fauci again, can you imagine any circumstance where President Biden would ever fire him?
No.
Of course, Joe's not going to fire Dr. Fauci for any reason. Fauci is a loyal deep state Democrat who constantly toes the party line. He's even been spreading Chinese government propaganda. And like all Democrats, Dr. Fauci, well, he's not letting this crisis go to waste. Just like the governor of New York, Fauci is writing a self-congratulatory book, which Senator Rand Paul is referring to as a work of science fiction.